My brothers and sisters in Islam, have you ever sat alone in the middle of the night and felt like your heart was carrying the weight of the world? Have you ever cried silently while others slept, wondering why things are so difficult? You're not broken, you're not forgotten, and you're not alone. What you're feeling has a purpose. Your pain isn't random, it's not meaningless. And wallahi, Allah is closer than you think. Pain is not punishment. It's a process. My dear brothers and sisters, there's something I want you to understand deep in your heart. Pain, real pain, is something every soul will taste. And the first thing we do when it hits us is ask, why? Why is this happening to me? What did I do wrong? Is Allah angry with me? But let me tell you something many of us forget. Pain is not always a sign that you've done something wrong. Sometimes it's a sign that you're being guided toward what's right. Sometimes it's a wake-up call. Sometimes it's a turning point. And sometimes it's just part of the path that Allah is shaping for your growth. You see, we live in a world that teaches us comfort is the goal, smooth life, no struggles, no heartbreaks. But then how do you become stronger? How do you develop patience? How do you learn humility, mercy, gratitude? The truth is, no one becomes refined in ease alone. If you want to purify gold, you have to burn it. You heat it, you mold it, you remove the impurities, then it shines. The same happens with your heart. When you're put through tests, when your soul is being tugged and stretched and shaken, it's not being punished, it's being molded, reshaped, prepared. Some of the strongest people I've ever met are not those who had easy lives. They're the ones who've cried in silence, the ones who kept going when everything inside them wanted to give up. They didn't just survive, they transformed. And you know what's incredible? Most people around you might never even see your pain, but Allah does. And He's not distant. He's not waiting for you to be perfect. He's there in that exact moment, watching how your heart reacts, watching what your pain turns you into. And when you start to understand that, something shifts inside you. You stop seeing pain as punishment. You start seeing it as a process, a journey, a path that might just lead you closer to Allah than you've ever been before. Because you begin to realize that healing doesn't just come from the ending of pain, it comes from discovering who you become through it. And that realization, it softens the blow. It doesn't remove the hardship, but it gives it meaning. And when pain has meaning, it becomes bearable. And sometimes it even becomes beautiful. Allah is closer in your breaking point than in your comfort. My dear brothers and sisters, there are moments in life when you feel like you're at your lowest, when nothing makes sense, when the people you thought would never leave walk away, when you wake up and the weight on your chest makes it hard to breathe, let alone smile. And in that moment, a question creeps into your heart, where is Allah? But let me tell you something real, so real, that if you've ever felt broken, it will hit home. It's in those very moments, in your breaking point, that Allah is the closest. Not when you're feeling good, not when everything's going your way, but when your heart is heavy, when your soul is cracked, and when you have nothing left except to whisper, Ya Allah, there's something sacred about your breaking point. Not because it feels good, not because you enjoy the pain, you won't, but because it strips away everything superficial. It pulls the curtain back. And for the first time in a long time, maybe ever, you're not distracted. You're not performing. You're just real. Think about it. How many times did you only truly feel your faith? When you were in trouble. When you had no control left, when you were helpless, that's when you finally spoke to Allah like He was right in front of you. And that's the secret. That's what the pain was doing. It was reminding you that He's always been there. Because Allah doesn't drift away from us where you drift. We get caught up, busy, distracted. And sometimes it takes a storm to bring us back to the anchor, not to punish us, but to remind us of where we find peace again. You could be surrounded by people and still feel alone. But in that loneliness, when you turn to Allah with a whisper, that's the moment you realize you are never really alone at all. Don't let your pain define you, let it refine you. My beloved brothers and sisters, when something painful happens to us, something deep, something that shakes the core of who we are, there's a voice that creeps in and tries to tell us, this is who you are now. It says, you're the one who got divorced. You're the one who failed. You're the one who lost someone. You're the one who sinned. And if you're not careful, that voice will start shaping how you see yourself. It will put a label on you. It will convince you that this is your identity, that you are your pain, that you're stuck. But you're not. You are not what happened to you. You are not your trauma. You are not your lowest moment. You are the one who is still standing. You are the one who felt it, who lived through it, and somehow you're still here breathing, praying, trying. That's not weakness. That's strength. That's refinement. You see, pain has a strange way of giving us two doors. One leads to bitterness, regret, and self-pity. The other leads to awakening, growth, and strength you never knew you had. You can come out of hardship hardened and closed, or softened and open. And that choice, my dear brothers and sisters, is the difference between letting pain define you and letting it refine you. I've met people who went through the worst kinds of heartbreak, grief, and loss. And yet when they speak, there's a light in them that only comes from having been through fire and not letting it destroy them. They didn't lose their soul, they found it. They didn't become bitter, they became humble. They didn't stop caring, they just started caring about the right things. Because once you've been broken and Allah rebuilds you, wallahi, you're never the same. You're gentler with people. You're more careful with words. You're slower to judge. You become a mirror of mercy, not of pain. And that refinement, that inner transformation, is more powerful than anything this world can give you. Your silent struggle is a form of worship. My dear brothers and sisters, there's a type of struggle that no one sees. The kind that doesn't get posted, doesn't get praised, and doesn't even get noticed by the people closest to you. It's the struggle you carry in your chest. Quiet, heavy, constant. You get up in the morning and no one sees how much effort it took to even open your eyes. You smile in front of others and they don't know what kind of battle you fought just to leave the house. You walk through your day doing what you need to do, but inside you're trying to hold yourself together, trying not to break. That, my brothers and sisters, is worship. It might not look like much to the world. You're not standing in front of crowds, you're not leading anything, you're not even sharing what you're going through. But your Lord sees it. He sees you choose to stay patient when no one is around. He sees you hold your tongue when you're hurt. He sees you lower your gaze, walk away from sin, fight your desires, carry that anxiety, push through that depression, heal from that trauma without complaining to the world. And when no one thanks you, when no one acknowledges you, when no one understands the weight you're carrying, that's when your sincerity is at its purest. Because you're not doing it for anyone's applause, you're doing it for Him. And that kind of worship doesn't go unnoticed, even if no one else sees it. You don't need to explain your pain to the world for it to matter. You don't need to prove your struggle to anyone for it to count. You just need to know that every small act of holding one every quiet moment you choose patience over despair is being recorded, remembered, and rewarded. Healing isn't always immediate, but it's always coming. My dear brothers and sisters, one of the hardest things in this life is waiting for a heart to feel whole again. You've been through something, maybe a loss, maybe a betrayal, maybe a mistake you regret deeply, and you're just waiting for the pain to lift, waiting for peace to return, waiting to feel like yourself again. And sometimes you wonder, will I ever be okay? You tell yourself, it's been months. Maybe it's been years. You ask, why am I still hurting? Why hasn't the wound healed yet? But what if I told you, healing isn't a moment. It's not a switch you turn on. It's a process, a journey, a quiet unfolding of your soul. You see, sometimes you wake up and feel a little lighter. Not perfect, not pain-free, but something inside you shifts. You're just a little more okay than the day before. Other times you wake up and the sadness rushes back in like it never left, and you feel like you're back at zero. But you're not. You're not. Because healing doesn't mean you never feel pain again. It means you've learned to carry it with peace. Healing means you've stopped needing answers. It means the scar is still there, but you don't flinch every time you think about it. It means you remember what happened, but it no longer owns you. And no, healing isn't immediate. It doesn't rush for anyone, but it's always coming. In the quiet, in the waiting. In the days when you don't feel anything changing, it's coming through every tear, every whispered prayer, every time you show up, even when you're tired.